Hello and welcome to the Stock Planner channel. Today I want to find 4 or 5 potential stocks that I can trade for the remainder of the week with the hopes that the Iran war will end and that will positively affect the market. And I think that war will end very soon. I'm a swing trader looking for the bottoms and tops of the market and that trend in between. Now this is a zigzag indicator. It's perfect. Predicts the tops and bottoms very, very well, but it doesn't predict anything. It repaints itself, and it repaints itself based on future data. We don't have that benefit, but I use it as a visualization indicator so that I can see what my other indicators that do not repaint, like the RSI. And when the RSI is below the 30, this is on a weekly chart. It works on the daily chart as well. Below the 30, maybe you'll have a reversal. And a reversal did happen soon on that one. And it looked like it tried to do one, but then still has come down based on this stuff. And then the other indicator that I use is the MACD, and I look for crossovers. And when a crossover happens, the histogram turns green. And I just sometimes look for green. That's usually a trending indicator to trending up. And you can see that mostly trends up during that time. And that we're now trending down. There's a current level of support. Maybe now is the time for reversal. That's why I think it is. And the RSI is below the 30 and 40. So that's when I'm keeping my eye out for reversals. And that's what I'm going to cover today. I'm looking for stocks that the RSI is indicating that a reversal might happen and that the analysts feel will go up more than 10%. So mostly today, we'll look at stocks that I wish to own forever. There's 53 of them, 52, 53. The RSI below the 40, and the target price, according to the analysts, is greater than 10%. And this is my list. I didn't go over the whole list in the video, but this is the list here. And the one you're not seeing, Visa is on the list as well. It's cut off by the recorder. But you can see that that's below the 30 as well. I didn't cover Visa in the video as well. Anyway, we're going to go through a lot of stocks today. This is not advice or recommendations or anything. It's just how I'm looking for 5 stocks that I can trade for myself today in hopes that it might help you. You need to come up with your own strategy and techniques to analyze stocks and trends and develop a strategy that you can win for life. Don't forget to at least like this video. It helps me out. And let's get started. I'm looking for a few stocks to trade today. Looking at FinViz for yesterday, we see the Dow up slightly, NASDAQ up slightly, and the S&P 500 ended up slightly. And it appears that all the big boys looked green yesterday, and there's a lot of green on this heat map. And that's a big difference from the week. Looking at the SPY, using the TradingView chart on the weekly time frame, we see that big run up, then a pullback. We see the RSI drop below the 30 and looks like it's coming back around. That's normally a bullish sign, but the MACD for the week is still pointing down. And you see that same condition over here. The MACD is pointing down. The RSI went below the 30, and then you've seen that big pull up. We're still currently red. We're still going to downtrend according to the MACD, but we're going to be looking for a reversal and keep our eye out on several stocks. Looking at the Magnificent 7, these are the stocks that move the market. Again, on the weekly time frame, less noise. For any trader, beginner or pro, I think it's important to know what stocks do. To have a watch list. In the case of today's video, we're going to cover most of the stocks that I feel I want to own over the next few years, and of course for life, forever. Stocks that I want to own. And of course, I need to know what each one of those stocks do. If you know, I think to be successful, if you know and love a small list of stocks and follow them, I think you'll have a better success rate than trying to scan for all 7,000 stocks that are out there that you know nothing about. And one thing I know about Apple is they make premium cell phones. And when a new one comes out, everybody wants one. And when you buy one, usually you buy another one. You're hooked for life. It's hard to get an Apple user to switch to Android. And of course, you could say that vice versa as well. My daughter uses Apple. I use Android. Anyway, if you think that there's some resistance here, maybe that resistance will hold. Apple has spent a lot of time above this line over the last few months. The technical meter says sell, and of course that's what you see here in the MACD. But the analysts that are covering this stock and should know what they're doing say buy. And they think this stock can go up as high as 300, which is about an 18% increase, and that's decent for stock that has a very good financial, and some of those financials are earnings are forecast to grow by 7 or 8% over the next year, and earnings grew this past year by 22%. This stock, according to the valuation model that Simply Wall Street's using, it's trading probably around where it's supposed to be trading. Healthy company, good financial past, a relatively good future, nothing outstanding here. Still, you can sell puts below this line, $225 somewhere around there, $230. RSI, hovering around 30. Is that going to be a trend reversal for Amazon? I think you should be watching it. The analyst covering this says it's a strong buy and a target price of 32% higher than it is today. This retail giant for consumer goods should definitely be on your radar. I think I'm going to look at the selling a put on Amazon today. Looking at Google, it's a cash machine still with all its ads and its cloud growth and its AI Gemini model, which I'm using a little bit. Long run up, pull back. Analysts feel strong buy, going up by 24 to 25%, as high as 378. Currently at 304. This is definitely a long-term play. Meta, Facebook, all these big techs follow the same type of scenario where they're each kind of follow the leader. They go up, they go down, they go out, up and down together. Strong buy, 38%, 37%. High is $860. For a small trader, this is a hard one to trade because it's expensive. Microsoft, everybody knows what this does, a software company. Over the last 6 weeks, it looked like we have stabilized and maybe the bottom is in. But I thought that was the story here. The bottom was in and lost $400 on a small trade with Microsoft. What do I know? I think the bottom's in. And I am putting Microsoft on my list to look at the buy this week. It's a slow, steady stock. I like it. RSI below the 30, RSI below the 30, and that seemed to indicate a reversal. A reversal, that's fine. The thing about RSI is you can have a top runner like this one, and if you think the top is in after it hits above the 70, well, you would have gotten skinned there. That's why I always use another indicator or several other, but mainly these two here. And the crossover for this run up for the MACD indicator was there, and that you would have caught that run till right about here. You took a little loss, but you would have got most of that run. The MACD looks like it would like to start coming around, and maybe it is. Who knows? This is where I think it's going to run up. Love me some Microsoft. I find myself playing AMD more than NVIDIA. Seems like it's been spending a lot of time over the last few months in that area there. The analyst ratings is a strong buy, and they say this is another 50% to go. As high as 267. The Snowflake says this is slightly undervalued, and this is using a price to earnings ratio type situation. Strong, healthy company, bright future, definitely a bright future, and good past financial history. This is a chip maker, and you probably already know that. The major catalyst for this stock is it probably is going to be the AI chip forerunner, and will probably have dominance in that field. And it's a chip that everybody's using for the data centers. So in a nutshell, NVIDIA sells chips for AI and AI infrastructure. But I think AMD is going to take some market share over the next year. Big thing for NVIDIA and its price is that earnings are expected to grow by 22%. And that's smaller than what it grew over the past year, which is 65%. When you're looking at snowflakes, you want them big and green. This is acceptable. And my wife's favorite, Tesla, she believes it's going to go to $1,000. The analysts are very neutral at this thing. the stock, and the growth for price is not very much. And a lot of financial creators are saying that this stock still has a little ways to go down. And about 9 of the analysts think this stock has gone down further, with the majority still thinking it's going up. The average for this stock is $426, currently trading at around $396. Watching this one, but not a buyer. What do you think? What stocks from the Magnificent Seven are you buying? I think Amazon and Microsoft look appealing. Now we're looking at the stocks that I want to own forever, and there's currently 53 stocks on that list. But I don't want to go down through all the 53 in this video. So let's take a look and see if we can sort out the stocks that have a potential for reversal. And I have a stock screen set up, and currently that it was set up in Power Grid because I was looking at Power Grid stocks, because I think that the Power Grid is going to be overloaded, and stocks that can satisfy and improve our power grid over the next 30 years are good candidates for long-term leaps and buys. And I was looking at that recently. We're going to take a look at those 53 stocks by using a watch list. And you should all be having your own watch list and building it, and maybe adding some of these stocks to that watch list and own forever. And what I'm looking for and searching is on the weekly time frame, which I like to look at the weekly, less noise, that the RSI is below the 40, and the target price, according to the analysts, is at least 10% higher than its current price. So I'm just looking for RSI. I'm not looking for MACD as well, but you can, and I have. But this, I'm just, of the 50 stocks that I know and love that are on my own forever, I want to see if there's pullback and what the analysts think. That's the only two concerns I have. It's just keeping it simple. And we have 12 candidates that we can take a look at. I like to sort it. And the first one is Adobe. And a lot of creators out there are calling Adobe a buy. Now, you see that green line there? I thought that was the support line, and apparently it's not. Maybe the support line is here. RSI, below the 30. Is that an indication that we're going to go up? Well, it hasn't, but that it usually is. This stock has been a significant downtrend, and the analysts think it's going to go up about 31%, more than 10%, as our screen has showed. Adobe's worth watching, but since I think the Iran war is going to end, I would love to have a few stocks that will take and benefit from that end, like some oil stocks, some military stocks, transportation stocks, airline stocks. The next stock on the list is a fintech financial technical stock, and I do have a current trade in place. It's a long trade, extends out to August, and I think this stock is going up long term. This might be worth looking at because this was a recent trade. Looking at Ford, looking at those candlesticks, you see a big drop in Ford stock. That's about right at the time of the Iran conflict. If the Iran conflict ends, you might see a reversal in Ford very soon. This is a cheap stock. A lot of people like to sell options on it, and I think I'm going to put it on my list as well, because I do think that the war is going to end this week or early next week. That's my bet. Ford. And it doesn't cost a lot of money to sell a cash secure put on this stock, which is a long-term strategy, or a long-term strategy. It can be long-term, it can be short-term, but it's a long strategy. You can say that Home Depot has definitely had a pullback. The analysts are showing this as a buy, and they're showing that this stock should go up by about 21%. It's currently at $415. Well, that's the price target, $415. It's currently at $342, and that's a pretty significant jump if it hits that. If the Iran war ends and the economy starts looking a little rosier, interest rates start coming down, Home Depot could be definitely a good buy. Is there level support there? Somewhere here. And another thing to note about Home Depot is that the RSI, when it dips below the the 30 or 40, a reversal is soon to happen. And could that same thing happen here? So I think I'm going to put this on my list, Home Depot, but not a short-term trade. I think I'll extend this when selling a leap as far out as December or January. And because of the price, I might do a credit spread using Option Strat, which is a visualization tool for options. Home Depot, I'm going to build a credit spread, a bull put spread, going out to January. And I think that the bottom is in. So I'm going to bring that up so that only have to invest about $1,000. See, selling a put at 340 and buying a protected put at 330. That gives you my vertical or credit spread. My margin requirement is about $1,000. That's the length of that gap. And I receive about half of that in credit back. That's not bad. And as long as this stock stays above $334, let's just make that $335. I have a winner on my hands and can win a max profit of $517. $335. How's that look on the chart? $335. That's close enough for government work. And you can set it. If you're exact, you need to be exact. You can set it exact. I'm not. Okay, we're going to go out to January. So if this stock stays above that break-even point, you have a winner in your hands. And of course, you can take profit anytime you see a rise. So if the stock can go up 5% or 6%, this is your win line right here. And if you win $134 on a $1,000 investment at 13%, that's decent. A significant 3-week pullback. Is it going back? I think it is. Home Depot. Well, we have 4 stocks on our list. We need 1 more. And then we'll have 5 eligible stocks to trade in the next few days. A lot of traders trading Robinhood right now. And the last 3 weeks, it seems to have leveled off and really relatively little movement. Is the bottom in? RSI says it's below the 30. And as again, we're talking about a week's worth of data, not just one little hit. I have a trade already in the Robinhood, so I'm skipping this one. Now, Kimberly-Clark is definitely down. Since most of last year, Kimberly-Clark has been in a downturn and was looking like it was going to reverse itself and start going back up. We had the RSI below the 30, and that looked like the reversal was taking effect. This is after a long gap down, probably after earnings, and that gap normally fills, and that gap has not filled yet. Kimberly-Clark is household, personal goods, baby diapers, consumer goods. It's usually a defensive stock because you'll always need those kind of products. The analysts have this as a buy and a 16 or 70% increase up to $116, which is essentially filling that gap. And this is a 1-year target price as well. So this is going to be a long-term situation, much like what we just did with Home Depot. Maybe a credit spread 6-7 months out. This stock is definitely trading using the free cash flow model below its fair value. And earnings are forecast to grow by 25%. Current price for Kimberly-Clark is $100. And using the cash flow model, this stock should be $683. It is seriously undervalued using the free cash or future cash flow model. Earnings per share growth forecast, that's what we want to see. And this stock pays a 5% dividend. Looking at Snowflake, you want it to be big and green, and this is big and pale yellow, which indicates it pays a dividend. The future looks very, very bright, healthy company, and is undervalued. Let's see if I can get me some Kimberly-Clark. Looking at Kimberly-Clark, probably the same time frame. And the model says, hey, for an estimate of $2,500 in margin, you can get $800 in credit. I think the bottom is in, and I'm going to bring this up closer to where it's trading at, and we'll have a better chance of getting filled. For $500 now, I get $200, and that's my max loss. Well, my max loss is $300. It's the margin minus what you received is your max loss. You can lose $300 on this trade. I need to stay above 97 or 98. 98. And this course, if it goes higher, which I think it will, there's my win line. And of course, when you're doing some trading, there's your loss lines. So you have to think, are you a bull or bear? I'm a bull. 98, there we are. I think it's going to go to there, and we're going out to January, somewhere in there. How's that trade look to you? There's a $300 trade on a stock that is very, very good and very financial stable. It's a defensive stock. It's a stock that everybody knows. Everybody's going to need some diapers. How's that look to you? Please leave a comment below. So, in summary, I was looking for some stocks that I can trade over the next couple days and came up with 5 eligibles these 5 eligibles all are name brands: Amazon, Microsoft, Ford, Home Depot, and Kimberly-Clark. These are names that you should know. These are names that you shouldn't mind owning forever. I'm using options so that I might not have to buy the whole stock because some of these stocks are expensive. I like selling puts when I can, and Ford is definitely a cheap stock. I know I can sell put on that one, and I have sold puts on Microsoft in the past, and probably could sell a put on Kimberly-Clark. Remember, these are not trade recommendations. These are things that I'm doing this morning to get myself ready for the stock market for this remainder of the week, with the anticipation that the Iran war is going to end soon, and that will affect the stock market positively. What do you think? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this video to get more content, and hopefully learn how to do it yourself. There's nothing hard. Don't make it over complex. You don't have to be a Wall Street financial analyst to do this stuff. You just got to be able to pick a few stocks that are strong, that you know, and that you follow. Happy trading. We'll catch you on the flip.